Welcome to Good News Week, coming to you tonight from the Lloyd Williams Memorial Hall. As part of the 1998 Melbourne International Comedy Festival. And the big news? John Howard is in the middle of a conflict of interest scandal for something he says he wasn't even making any money out of. Gee, even his junior ministers can do better than that. The Prime Minister has admitted that he forgot that he was a director of a public company, the Menzies Research Centre. What's the problem? It's not like the Menzies Research Centre had a lot to do. You know, once a year, they'd all get together and someone would say, you know, is Menzies dead? And someone else would say, yes. Pity. And then they'd all go home. By failing to resign from a company which received a $100,000 grant from the federal government, it seems the Prime Minister may have breached his very own ministerial code of conduct. And why not? Everyone else has. But come on, you know, another conflict of interest? Isn't it about time the government had a decent sex scandal, you know? Or a video of Peter Costello snorting cocaine off Peter Reith's head? That'd be the way to go. Victoria's privately run Port Phillip prison has come under attack again, this time for keeping an ambulance waiting outside the gate for 15 minutes because the only guard on duty couldn't find the keys. You know something's seriously wrong when the prisoners complain there aren't enough guards. Things are so bad, even the guards are expected to carve their guns out of soap. Stay with me. Jeff Kennett, of course, is standing by the prison operators, promising there will be more guards as soon as he can buy some cut-price teenagers from the Work for the Dole scheme. There was a major diplomatic incident in Australia this week when visiting Argentine President Carlos Menem was given a dry as a bone as a gift and mistakenly walked off with Tim Fisher's Akubra hat as well. And Tim never goes anywhere without that hat. I mean, it gives his head something to do. And the Nationals couldn't afford to lose it either. I mean, apart from Tim, it's more widely recognised than anyone else in the party. Any doubt about which way independent Senator Brian Harradine was leaning on the native title bill disappeared this week when he kicked off his shoes to join in a traditional Wick tribal dance. Look at that, you can almost hear Brian singing, "It's just a jump to the left. It's just a step to the right." Harradine is fascinated by old indigenous culture. He's a Tasmanian. They got rid of theirs a long time ago. But if trying to be an Aborigine helps him understand the effects of the Wick legislation, maybe Brian should try to be a woman next time abortion laws come up. And that's the good news.
It's Good News Week. Someone's dropped a bomb somewhere, contaminating atmosphere and blackening the sky. It's Good News Week. Someone's found a way to give the rotting dead a will to live, go on and never die. It's Good News Week. It's Good News Week.
Thank you. Good evening. Tonight, in the flesh, and what flesh it is, the statuesque Mikey Robbins and two of the international stars of this year's Comedy Festival, that gorgeous strumpet, Jenny Eclair, and the best friend of Alan Parker, urban warrior, in fact, the only friend of Alan Parker, urban warrior, Simon Munnery. And they're getting up close and personal with the majestic Julie McCrossan. He smashed the box office at the 97 Melbourne International Comedy Festival. He sold out in Edinburgh. He is the Irish sex god, Ed Byrne. And direct from the council chambers and his all-new show, crown of thorns, the national treasure, Mr. Rod Quantock. Are you ready, Melbourne? Okay, good enough. Mikey, Jenny, Simon, what's the story here?
Right, is wheat, and that's a bloke saying I love you.
Aeroplane.
People getting off a plane.
A pattern.
Oasis are touring Iraq. You've been having trouble with Iraq.
I'm completely clueless because I didn't come here to read your newspapers. I came to sleep with your men.
It's a diplomatic story because apparently we annoyed Tarac Aziz, which I believe is a dip, by supporting the US sending troops over there. As I don't know why we do it all the time. We just love doing it.
Interfering.
We love to interfere. We're a busybody nation, Jenny. Yeah. And they've said that once the sanctions are dropped, they won't join us in a wheat for anthrax scheme.
Now I understand.
Now you understand?
Thank you.
Yes.
I've no idea what's going on.
5 points, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Iraq government is finding the presence of Australian troops in the Persian Gulf so annoying that they've threatened to boycott Australia's multi-million-dollar wheat and dairy exports. And without dairy for cheese and wheat for bread, there'll be big changes at the Baghdad McDonald's. Yep. Suddenly a Big Mac will be 2 beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, pickles, onions on a sesame seed. But let's not forget that Iraq needs Australian milk to keep their powdered milk factories busy. And they need powdered milk factories because without them, the anthrax distilleries in the back shed will look really obvious. Julie Edrod, enlighten us.
Electoral districts, map and finger. Map and finger.
And a man.
Tremendously interesting intellectual from a state to the north, Irish friend.
Was that Bob Carr's finger trying to find his way back to Sydney on the map? What was he doing?
Look, what's gone on up there, up in New South Wales, is the allegedly fiendishly clever right wing of the Labor Party in New South Wales, which is meant to be a professional machine, have started up something that's like an exploding cigar in their mouth that they've slid on a banana skin, redistributed the seats...
Sorry, calm down. There are too many metaphors. Please, slow down.
When things go really wrong in Ireland, how would you put it?
A bomb.
That thing's going according to plan.
Look, they've essentially changed the electoral boundaries in New South Wales, and to the horror of the incumbent Labor government, it's gone badly wrong for them. 2 of their ministers likely to lose their seat, and shock horror, the coalition may even get in next time.
Apparently they're also going to implement some new gun control laws as well, so as to prevent themselves shooting themselves in the foot again.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 points. They are right. New South Wales Premier Bob Carr's plan to secure re-election by redistributing electoral boundaries has backfired with a new electoral map showing that he's probably redistributed himself right out of government. In fact, the new map is such a disaster for the ALP, it actually looks as if Joe might get to be Prime Minister after all. The redistribution was the last chance for Labor to get an edge in New South Wales. Now they have to resort to their last-ditch emergency strategy, coming up with a policy. Before the show, as we taunted the Iraqis with our yogurt... Gee, you got short memories. Both teams were given 3 clues to a recent strange but true story. For Robbins, Eclair and Munnery, we have a walking frame.
Can someone change my depend?
Handcuffs.
I got these. It's so far looking a bit like Saturday night at my house. But,
And some doilies.
I have a doily.
And McCrossan, Byrne and Quantock were given a horse's head.
I thought we might do a midsummer...
Go move. Just go move.
Move!
That'll confuse.
Look at that, the amazing Mrs. Ed.
I wanted to do a bottom Shakespeare joke, but Rod said Melbourne wouldn't get it.
Give it a shot.
No, cut it.
I tell you what, though, Sydney will get a bottom joke anytime.
And I've got
Some poppies
some
Poppies.
poppies.
and an unpleasant statue.
Unpleasant because of the
Pigeon poo.
The pigeon
Other
poo.
than that, she's a
Indeed
rather
it
lovely
is.
looking lass.
There it is. That's fine.
To get round two moving, bites. Simon, what is this hunky TV heartthrob talking about?
It's just terrific. I love it here.
I don't know why I'm here. I'll tell you what, if Don Burke sees you in that shirt, you're not going to be a happy man.
So have you got an answer there, Simon, or you want to liaise slightly?
It's Matthew Perry from Friends. I suddenly remembered.
We knew that.
Yes, and they're in England. They're in England because they're shooting an episode.
They're
of
shooting
Friends.
Friends in England. I pay for the ammunition myself.
And you know our freckly royal trollop, Fergie. She's going to be in it.
Is it going to be a speaking part?
Well, it's probably a whinnying part.
It's a toe-sucking part, isn't it?
Toe-sucking, brothers.
On behalf of my team, yes, it is Matthew Perry, heartthrob from Friends, in England, shooting Friends, shooting Fergie. It's a big shooting party over there, really.
And going to lap dancing parlours.
Who is?
Matthew Perry, because, you know, you go to England, there's a House of Parliament, you can do this, you can do that. He went to a lap dancing club.
And Fergie was there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a lap big enough. Anyway, look, no, that was wrong. Thank you for judging me so harshly then. I realise my mistake. 3 points! Fergie, Duchess of York, has filmed a cameo appearance in London for the US sitcom Friends. The show's director was concerned about giving the Duchess a speaking part, though, mostly because Fergie's own speaking part is usually preoccupied with chocolate eclairs, donuts, and pork fat. Oh, you've turned.
It's not a weight problem, it's a gland problem. I know, I suffer it too. We eat a lot of glands.
You are actually marvellously fat. He's just sitting here slightly wobbling. It's lovely.
This is only the beginning for the Royals. Fergie is also working on a new cooking show for the BBC called One Fat Lady. Prince Philip is shooting a pilot for his own version of Healthy, Wealthy and Wise called Wealthy. And the Queen has come up with her own royal medical drama, ER. Rod, your bite now from this terribly important man.
There will be a penalty for carriers up to $10 million.
I reckon it's a great tribute to the way this government respects the portfolio of finance, that they could put this man of incomparable stupidity in charge of it.
Look, I don't agree that...
That's John Fay.
It is. You've picked him.
That was John Fay, and he was saying, he was, for those of you who missed it, I'll translate. He was talking about the Telstra float, the opportunity for all Australians to become owners of Telstra. Hands up if you're an owner of Telstra at the moment. 100%. Will you be an owner when it's privatised? No, because we only get poor bastards into this show. A big concern about the privatisation of Telstra is that if it goes into private hands, private enterprise may exploit the great mass of rural Australia. I know it's unbelievable. It couldn't happen.
I think
People
you're being
who bring
unfair,
you
Rod.
cigarettes and nutritional cornflakes would not in any way exploit Telstra.
Soapbox for Rod.
John Fay has said that if anybody who buys Telstra mucks around with its services to the detriment of the average Australian, they'll be fined $10 million.
And everyone in the country will be given 2 tins and a very long piece of string.
3 points, ladies and gentlemen, as well. Oh, I love that tension. To allay the fears of country people, the federal government is introducing legislation that allows the fully privatised Telstra to be fined up to $10 million for poor service. So how come, when the pizza boy is late, you get a free pizza, but if the phone repairman is late, the government gets 10 million? In a counterattack, Telstra plans to put Senator Warwick Pera on their board of directors because everyone knows he's exempt from prime ministerial standards. To wrap up the round, a dose of bad street theatre. Jenny and Ed will present a visual interpretation of a recent news story. Their teammates must decipher it as quickly as they can, otherwise the Tokyo Shock Boys will come out and superglue our heads to their buttocks. OK, Jenny?
Is this mime? I'm not good at this sort of thing.
That's a no, you'll be fantastic.
Marvellous trousers. Give me terrible thrush, but very nice trousers. Now then, what's this?
If you could read that. Don't show the team behind you.
And I have to...
mime that.
Mime.
Every single word.
I'm not good at mime, but I can put this leg round the back of my head. No, I'm not doing it.
You've just become suddenly more attractive. Jenny, your time begins now.
Walking. Legs over the head again. Car. You're sitting in a car. You're sitting in a car, you're aggressive, you're rude, road rage, you're angry, you're kicking your own car.
She's holding her private part.
That's not part of it. Okay, that's one bit. Oh, shut up.
Okay.
Right, this is the other half bit. This is the alternative.
All right. Jenny walking.
You on a good day?
Getting into a very tiny car. Hello. Happy, kissy, smiling.
Milking a cow?
I can't think what else to do with that. I've done my best. Was that very poor? I'm so sorry. But you get it, don't you? Because you've seen it.
Jenny, do the first bit again.
Yeah.
The car driving.
Yeah, it's like...
Is it car driving?
Was it the four-wheel car driving?
Is it car driving?
Car driving.
You are such a good mime artist. Yeah. Will this have something to do with the news story this week about four-wheel drive car drivers?
Yes!
Who might be slightly more aggressive
than
normal two-wheel car drivers?
Yes!
She's incredible! The whole thing became so much easier when she started talking.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lesson to all mime artists out there.
Just shout.
Just shout, you idiots. I'm walking against the wind!
You did get it right.
How many points?
Well, you cheated. I don't know if anyone else noticed. 1 point. 1 point. Okay, 2 points. I'm going to be hard. For those of you who didn't quite follow what was happening, a study by the Federal Office of Road Safety has found that a four-wheel drive is 27 times more likely to kill than a family car when the two collide. But four-wheel drivers don't kill on purpose. Because of the size of their vehicle, they don't even notice they've wiped out another car. They just think they're speed bumps. There is some good news for sedan owners, though. A sedan is 50 times deadlier than a wombat when they collide. Unless the wombat is in a four-wheel drive.
No, Paul, that's a job I'd like, actually. Being a speed hump. A nice leafy suburbs. Hello. Slow down.
Wouldn't you be rather more of a roadblock, though?
Now, can I interest you in a little bit of the bad street theatre,
Yes.
Mr. Byrne?
I don't know. They get the man with the cutest accent on the show to do mine. I don't understand.
As far as that accent goes, he's from Geelong.
This isn't even true, is it?
Yes. Sadly, it is. Ed Byrne, your time begins now.
choose.
I always think it's just miming where it is without being offensive is the most difficult thing. Don't you think?
Kung Fu?
Yes, martial
Tai
arts.
Chi?
Yeah, martial
Asia?
arts.
Eating with chopsticks? Eating a very healthy
Yeah,
food?
yes.
Chopsticks. Chinese food.
Eating the corpses of karate victims.
I'm not getting down to anything so specific just yet.
No,
China.
okay.
Okay?
Chinese.
We've got that.
China.
Yeah.
He's talking!
But he's doing it in an accent.
China. You're going to inject something in your
You've
arm.
lost a finger.
Everybody knows the syllable sign. The syllable sign.
4 syllables? They're Australian, they won't get it.
Chinese are counterfeiting. One-eyed,
Pirates.
legless. Pirate.
That's miming, baby. That's miming.
Look, just to rub it in, show them how you do a car. All right, you've just... Condom! Pirating condom.
Pirating condoms.
Chinese are pirating condom.
They're not working.
Ladies and gentlemen, we normally only give 3 points for that, but because it was so outstanding, 4 points! 4 points! Durex, the world's leading condom manufacturer, says counterfeiters are now selling pirate condoms on the Chinese mainland. What about this for a slogan? Pirate condoms for a Jolly Roger. It's like this. You fake being in love with her to get her interested, right? She fakes having great breasts to get you interested. You use a fake condom and she fakes an orgasm. Then you give her a fake phone number and she fakes intending to call you. It's the perfect 90s encounter. It's very easy to spot the fake condoms. They have Rolex written on them. And much like a fake Rolex, the condom stops working 5 minutes after you put it on. Not a real problem for most men. Some Chinese condoms, however, actually offer better protection because they're made from leftover car tyre rubber. And it takes a bloody keen sperm to get through a steel-belted radial.
Mind you, though, they're better in the wet.
The fertile Robinses are on 10 points. The fruitful McCrossans, 12 points. Final round now, anybody's game. Mikey, Jenny, Simon, your strange but true clues were the walking frame.
Yep. Oh, geez, that'd be upsetting, wouldn't it?
Some toys.
The handcuffs.
Time for a pruning.
Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Oh, it's getting feisty now, ladies and gentlemen.
This is an Italian story. An Italian chap, killed someone.
Yes.
This is rather sad, isn't it?
What happened next?
Well, he went to court, and instead of being... I'm under a lot of pressure here. Instead of being sent to prison, he was sentenced to 18 years house arrest with his grandmother.
No. Is that true?
18 years, hence the doilies, because that represents... the doilies and the Zimmer frame represent grandmother.
Did he play vicious sex games with his grandmother?
Yes.
That's fine then.
He didn't, but it's an 8 o'clock time slot, so I'm going for it. Instead of being sent to prison, sent to the big house, they decided that the most humane thing to do, because his grandmother needed the company and he needed to be punished, was 18 years of someone going, "You've got something on your face."
Jenny, anything you want to add?
No.
You want to talk about anything in particular?
Not now, thank you.
Okay. Simon?
I have another doily. It's bigger than the first one.
That's a bloody big doily.
It's an embarrassment of doilies.
It's just as well his grandmother was still alive, really, wasn't it? Otherwise they would have had to bury him, you know, to keep going.
It is very sad, but Mikey is right, ladies and gentlemen. 3 points. 25-year-old Italian, Christian Pavesi, convicted of murder, has been sentenced to exactly 18 years house arrest at Grandma's place.
That's wrong.
18 years.
18 years of hearing what we used to do before television. We used to invade other countries.
There was a Roman man on murder. He had to change his plans. Jury found him guilty. They gave him 18 years at Grand. She said, I ain't spending my life here. She's 82 in the world. By 2060, she'll be dead and starting to smell. Gonna make her feel great. Thank you.
You made my mind look really boring.
But you know the worst thing about jail at your grandmother's? Communal showers. Julie Edrod, your story is tied to the horse's head.
Yay!
Poppies and statue.
Now, I've got thoughts, but I want to hear the Irishman speak, because I have to admit I love the accent. What do you reckon, mate?
This is a stunning coincidence. This is a story that just happened in England just before I left, about a man who fed his horse with flowers and it turned into a statue.
No, look, it's obvious. The horse's head is the mafia. You can't get away with that. And the poppies are for Remembrance Day. And the mafia are going to have a sort of annual day, a sort of Anzac Day for dead mafia contract killers.
Yeah?
And the statue is irrelevant. The statue was just...
Well, because you're from Melbourne, you're what I call partly right.
Me, are you? Oh, partly right.
Because I do think... No, ladies and gentlemen, I know that sounded a little cruel, but let me explain what I mean. We in New South Wales are the people who really understand organised crime. This does represent the mafia, but I think this represents the growing of poppies that we see in Tasmania.
What?
Well, in Tasmania, we grow poppies for heroin and opium
Who's
legally.
we?
I think our government does for medical purposes. And
This
is a story about the mafia using pigeons, carrier pigeons, putting itty winny bits of heroin of a tremendously high quality on
little
things on their foot, full of
carrier
heroin,
pigeons,
and flying them over to people who want that product.
And each carrier that doesn't deliver the heroin is fined $10 million by John Kay. All adds up. It's a leak.
They're right, ladies and gentlemen. Naples police have seized 50 carrier pigeons allegedly used by the mafia to carry heroin and cocaine to clients in other parts of the city. At one stage, drug bosses were also using the birds to deliver marijuana, but clients kept getting the munchies and eating the pigeon. Mafia bosses have defended their use of the birds. A pigeon could have a worse life. It could be used to open Crown Casino. Mikey Robbins, Jenny Eclair and Simon Munnery scored a roasted 13 points. Shot down in flames tonight by Julie McCrossan, Ed Byrne and Rod Quantock on a scorched 17 points. For now, we'll leave you with the good news that John Howard says Brian Harradine's Aboriginal dancing was nothing. When the Telstra sale goes through, the front bench has worked up a routine that will knock Australia's socks off. And Amanda Vanstone doing the splits will bring the house down. Literally. Good night.
Good News Week will be back at the Comedy Festival next week with Linda Gibson, Rich Hall, John Higley and Adam Spencer. 8 o'clock next Friday.
Someone's found a